We're at the magical Wavebreak Island today to showcase our latest listing, a 2019 Riviera 395 SUV. Come on board, let me show you why this is the perfect boat for a young family. As mentioned, the 395 SUV is one of the best laid out models that Riviera offers for a 40-foot boat. On the port side, behind the helm, is a wraparound lounge with a teak table that's on a high-low pedestal. This drops down and creates another double bed. And I actually tell people it's actually really nice to sleep up here because you've got full visibility and open windows. It's really nice to go to sleep up here under the stars and wake up with the sun. To the starboard now, we've got a well-equipped galley with our C-Zone Touch 5 monitoring screen. So the C-Zone does all your monitoring and switching for AC and DC circuits throughout the whole vessel. Flowing aft now to the cockpit on the 395, you'll get a really good feeling for the generous size that this offers. To the port side, we've got a folding teak table with a 2-seater lounge. Underneath this lounge is a cool box for extra refrigeration. Directly under me is a hatch that's controlled on an electric lifter, making it easy to get to your engines for maintenance, monitoring, or just checking oils when you're running the boat. Off to the starboard is the ice maker, and above that, exceptional storage. Flowing further over is the joystick for ease of maneuvering. You can see up and down both sides, makes it easy to get in and out of all that tight berthing. This 395 is equipped with full breezeway wraparound covers, which encloses the whole cockpit and rolls up, as you can see like now, to get out of the way. It's also equipped with this exceptional Euro awning, which is held up by 2 carbon poles that easily attach to the back and store away quite nicely as well. This creates perfect shade directly above the barbecue, so we can come and stand out here and cook anytime, rain, hail or shine. The barbecue station is well equipped with a Kenyan 240 volt barbecue, a hot and cold mixer, area for chopping up or storing anything you're cooking, and a really good storage area underneath to store things like ropes, fenders, fuel for the tender. And easily accessible on the back is the tender, which is on snap davits, and they pull up to this stainless post here. Super easy to launch and retrieve the tender, and it gets it out of the way so you still have access to your duckboard. Up at the helm now on the 395, I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into what the IPS 500s, what kind of performance they provide on this model. And what I'm going to show you is the litres per nautical mile at different rev ranges at different speeds, and show you why it's better on an IPS boat to cruise at a faster speed. So currently we're at about 2,700 RPM. We're going 20 knots. And we're burning 4.3 litres per nautical mile. So watch what happens when I bump up the speed. We'll come up to about 3,000 RPM, so another 300 on top of what we were doing. So that's about 3,000 RPM now. We're doing just under 25 knots. So we've just gained 5 knots, and we're still burning 4.3 litres per nautical mile, which you'll see on this fuel screen here. So currently we're burning the same fuel overall distance as we were 5 knots ago. So I'll bump it up again to about 3.2 RPM and see what that gets us. All right, so we've just come up another 200 RPM. We're sitting at 3,200 RPM. We're doing 27 knots now, and we're burning 4.6 litres per nautical mile. So as you can see, per nautical mile from 20 knots to 27 knots is the exact same litres per nautical mile. So there's really no reason to do 20 knots, we might as well do 27 knots and burn the same fuel and get there quicker. Yep. So we're cruising at about 3,100 RPM right now. We're doing about 26 knots and we're hitting about 4.5 litres per nautical mile. So to put that into a bit of a real life perspective, Gold Coast to Hamilton Island, for example, is about 550 nautical miles. So I'll put 550 in there and we're burning 4.5 litres per nautical mile. So I'm going to times that by 4.5. So it's about 2,475 litres from Gold Coast to Hamilton Island, currently at this speed. Another handy calculation I like to use while we're talking about Gold Coast to Hamo deliveries is, like I said, it's estimated 550 nautical miles to get to Hamilton Island from the Gold Coast. What I like to do is the speed that we're doing, so we're averaging about 25, 26 knots, let's call it 25. I'll go 550 nautical miles divided by 25 knots is about 22. So 22 hours at that speed, in theory, to get from Gold Coast to Hamilton Island. Obviously it doesn't work like that with all the stops like Wide Bay Bar and Sheridan Flats, but those are the sort of rough numbers that I like to use. Well, that's a wrap for today's listing shoot on our 2019 Riviera 395 SUV. As you can see, I'm comfortably backing into the berth very easily. Maneuverability on these things is awesome from the joystick. No need to stress. You can see I'm pretty comfortable right now. I'm just backing it in ever so slightly, bit by bit. I'll pull myself to a stop and start to walk it to the jetty. This is exactly how berthing should be. Nice and easy, no stress, no yelling between loved ones. Nice and easy, small movements, all thanks to the joystick of the IPS pods. Now that we're all back and tied off and washed down, we're ready to leave the boat. So instead of having to go around and flick each light switch off and turn the air cons off and this and that, all we need to do is simply come to C zone and trigger a mode called dock unattended, like so. And straight away, that shuts down the whole boat, leaves these lights on for 120 seconds, enough time to lock the door and for us to get off board. Thank you so much for watching our walkthrough video on this Riviera 395 SUV. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out or click the link below to get to the listing.